Okay, welcome back. So this is time to discuss about data types. Maybe you will be thinking why we are discussing data after so much of sessions. All we have covered is the variables. We have covered already uh, the operators and all these things. And in between that also variables and all we have talked about the basic data type like in, character, float, and double. Now, since we have gone with all the operators, we have understood bitwise operator. Okay. Now it is a time to understand the data types. Okay. Now, when you talk about data types, we are talking about data, and data types means we are talking about the type of the particular data itself. Okay. Right. So, having said this, classification of data type is like this. Okay. We have a built-in data type. Okay. And we have a user-defined data type. So we have building data type, we have user defined data type. And in the building data type, it is divided into two, the fundamental data type and the derived one. Okay. On in the fundamental data type, we have already discussed about this four. We have seen this four. Other than that, there are two other things. Is one is a void and another is the pointer. Okay. And this void and point, we will be discussing about pointer when we talk about pointer, and void we'll be discussing when we'll be talking about some casting and all these things. So when you talk about data type, derived data type, okay, we have this array, we have this string, okay, and for the user data type, we have structure, union, and enumeration. So all will be discussed. So I will not going to tell you now what exactly structure, union, enumeration is. Array at the last end of this slide, I will talk you about array, just idea about array and string. Okay, but you have to understand data types are classified as built-in. Data type is classified as user-defined. Okay. In built-in, we have fundamental, we have derived. The four basic fundamental in, character, float, and double. Other than we have void and pointer, which we're going to discuss. Okay, in the later part. Then we have derived array and string, which will take what exactly will give you in this particular session itself. And user-defined data type, we have structured, union, and enumeration, which will be discussing down the line. Okay. So why data types are required? Unique programming long stores on process data. It depends upon the type of data. See, whenever we are talking about variables, we are saying that we are storing some data. So we are processing that data, right? So it is very necessary, essential that we should know what type of data it is. Okay, right? And okay, and based on this data also, entire things also works on. So understanding all the type of data is very very important. Okay. Yes, so data type usually you're talking of values and we are talking about the operations. That is the reason why we know what are the operators that were used in order to do the operation and all. Okay, right? So data type is used to define a type of a variable which we have already seen. Okay, and then two more things where the data types are very important when you be discussed when about we're discussing about function. One is the return value of the function, another the parameter pass in the function. Okay, so I will suggest that once we have understood everything till the enumeration function, again come back and go through this video, and I'm sure that you will be very clear with what exactly it will say. Now, just typically mechanically understand data type is defined in the type of variable. Then we have for the return type value of function and also for the parameters in function. Okay, right? So as I was telling that we are talking about var variable, we declare variable. So we have certain memory locations. So for example, I'm giving the memory location 62500, right? Okay. Now, what kind of data is stored in the variable? If I write in var, that means we are telling that this particular variable will be storing in. Okay, so when I'm declaring this in var, okay, compare and counter a declaration for a variable, it set up the memory location for it. So it will set up the memory location where exactly in var. Okay, and an operator is used on the variable. A variable is a Ligon only if the operator is defined. So we know the what kind of operator is it. And the variable, a variable of same and compatible type. Okay, same or compatible type. Like we are telling that x plus y, two variable, right? We have seen. Okay, x plus y, x is also integer, float is also sorry, x is also integer, y is also integer. So that type of things we can easily, add it up, and we can, do some. So operation is defined, and the variables or variables of same or compactable type. Now same, int and int. Compactable is something like that, int plus float if I write, okay, then the entire detail will be going into float itself. Now what is this compactable? We will be discussing, okay, when you talk about typecasting and all this thing. Right now, just understand, whenever you are declaring a variable, memory location is given, so operator is used in this particular. So all these operator already we have discussed, okay, right? So again, the fundamental type we're talking, in this character, integral and floating points, that is something which you also know. When you talk about integral, usually we are saying int, but also based on signed and unsigned, okay, right? Based on signed and unsigned, because typically when you are saying that, 8-bit number, okay, the first bit is actually represented by, sign, if it is, whether it is 0 on 1, whether it is a positive or negative number. So based on this integral, we have character, short, int, and long. Okay. And for the floating time, we have float and double. For the floating time, we have float and double. Okay. Now let us see, if you see this, okay, the fundamental int we have already seen. Int var, if I write like -5, 5 integer value. Character a, small a, character value. Okay. Float 5.2, 5.2, float var we are writing. Double var we are writing. Okay. Void main void. Okay. We are doing the right pointer like int star I, float star f. Okay. Just see into this. Don't give much stress, because we will be talking about pointer and later. But I hope int, character, float, double, it is, clear itself, right? Now moving ahead, let us see the storage. Okay, when you say character, it is only 1 byte, so it will start from -128 to 127, or 0 to 222. So when you say unsigned character, it start from 0 to 255. Okay. And if you want to understand this 128, 127, 0000, right? Okay, if you add it 2 to the power 7, 2 to the power 6, 2 to the power 5, 4, 3, 2, this way, if you are representing it, okay, so you will understand the number that we are getting. And the last one is talking about sign, so it is coming out -128 to 127, right? Yes. So sign character will be -21 to, so sign character and character is same. Okay. And unsigned, we are not talking about positive or negative, so we can stretch this number to 20 to 255. Integer, depending it is 2 or 4, mostly today is 4. So if it is 2, -32 768 to 32,767. And if it is 4, we have from -2 147,483 648, okay, to 2147, 463 to 647. Okay, right? Short is of 2 bytes, unshort is also 2 byte, but the range, if you see, is unsigned int, so it's 0 to 6,000, 65,000, and it is 4,000. Okay. So long, we are talking about 4 bytes, and you can see the value of long similar. Okay. Unsigned long, okay, 0 to 246, right? So I hope this particular thing is clear. Okay. So next, simply, you can go this particular, you can just type this, because there is one is a function which is called as size of. And if you write like this, size of storage, size of character, okay, size of character, slot in, and all this thing, but you have to include this header file limit.h, because that is where all these things, store size of, definition is there. And if you execute, you will get the size of character, float, int, and all. Okay. Yes, right? You can pause this video and you can type it out, and you can see, and you will see whatever things we are talking about in this particular slide itself, right? So floating point, similarly floating point also, you can see the size. Okay. And we can have this function flt underscore minus, flt underscore mean, okay, one variable. Okay. Flt underscore max, which will give you the maximum value of the float. Flt -1 dig, it will give you the, the what you say, the precision itself. So if you see float 4 bytes, okay, 6 decimal places. Double, we have 8 bytes, we have 15 decimal places. Long double, we have 10 bytes, and it of 19 decimal places. And you can see 1.2 in the exponential of minus 38 to 3.4 in the exponential of plus 38. Okay, so again I'm telling you, you can pause this video, okay, type it up and see. But here if you have to have the header file float.h, other will not get this flt underscore min, all these things, that you define variables. Okay, right. Lastly, we are talking about the derived data type. Okay, so array is nothing but a collection of same type of data. So that is the reason why same type of data, we may have in data all, we may have character data all, we may have float data all, we may have double data all. Okay, so typically it is written an in var is the name of the array. Okay, open bracket close to 10, then we can say this array has of 10 elements, and all these elements are nothing but int. Okay, so just understand this way, because in later when you start array, will understand how array can be declared and defined and all these things. String also is a collection of array. Sorry, collection of characters. So var again, like array is been represented by this symbol. Okay, if you see, right, I'm writing Bhupesh. So var contains nothing but the string. Sorry, this the string Bhupesh itself. Okay, so thank you so much. So just go through this. Okay, I have not typed up on my video itself. Okay, so I've given it in the PPT itself. You can take it up from here. You can look it in and you can execute and you can see this. Okay, whatever we are talking about. So I'm just saying the bytes that you have to remember. Okay, and if you're not remembered, just if write size of character, everything will be shown up and it will give the answer. Only you have to remember limit.h, and here we are talking about float.h, right? So all the best, and I hope the concept of data types is somewhat little bit clear. Now once you will be ending up with this particular C programming, everything we are talking about arrays, strings, enumeration, structured union, everything, the pointers and all, then entire idea of your data types will be very clear. Then I can suggest that you can go through this video again whenever you are completing this particular uh, the entire concept of the C itself. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you got some little bit of idea about data types.